Welcome back to the channel. My name is Alex, and we are going to create a scrollable chart for the Kotlin Multiplatform project. At the end, we will be able to run an application on Android, iOS, web, and desktop platforms. We will use the KoalaPlot library to implement it. The library is now on version 0.7.0 and has added zoom and pan support for the XY graph component on all platforms. With these changes, we can now create scrollable charts in Compose Multiplatform. To start, create the Kotlin Multiplatform project using Kotlin Multiplatform Wizard website. This website helps to generate projects for various platforms. Set the project name, package, and select the supported platforms. I will use an existing project that supports Android, iOS, web, and desktop platforms. You can find a link to the repository with the chart below the video. Next step is to add a dependency to the project. First, we need to open libs.version.toml file from the Gradle folder. We need to define a versions of the KoalaPlot library and the dependency itself. After that, we need to add a dependency to the Compose app module. We can do it by updating build.gradle.kts file and add it to the common main.dependencies section. And remember to sync the project once you added dependencies. Let's create the average daily mood chart for a month, which has 30 days. So I opened scrollable chart file, which already has a screen with configured navigation from the main screen to the chart one. I want to create a class for a daily mood. This class will have variables for day of the month and the happiness. We will also make a function to generate fake data. This function can create fake data for any number of days with happiness between 1 and 5. We will create a separate composable function for the chart. The chart component needs separate data for x-axis and y-axis. So we will provide this data to the composable function as parameters. To create a chart using the KoalaPlot library, we need to start with chart layout component, which can include title, legend, and chart itself. Inside chart layout, we will have the XY graph component, which needs all data required for drawing x-axis and y-axis. And finally, we will create a vertical bar plot, which will render chart data. Pay attention that we use remember int linear access model and remember float linear access model. In both cases, we use a range parameter to define values which will be rendered. Finally, we can add the chart to the screen. Here we create data inside the composable functions for simplicity. Ideally, it should be done outside and pass as a state to the function. Let's run the application. As you can see, we have too much data for mobile devices. To improve the situation, we can zoom in on a specific part of the chart. Instead of displaying all data, we can show data from the first day of the month to the 15th day of the month. This allows the user to interact with the chart and scroll it horizontally. To achieve this, we can use setViewRange function for the x-axis. Additionally, we need to enable the pan gesture for both x-axis model and xy graph component. Let's run the application. Currently, we can scroll the chart. Let's look at how the screen looks on Android, iOS, web, and desktop platforms. If you want to have a vertically scrollable chart, you can use the same approach for y-axis model instead of x-axis model. Right now, this approach works only with linear axis model. So let's disable the horizontal scroll and enable vertical scroll. Let's use setViewRange for y-axis model and focus on values between 1 and 3 by default. Let's run the application and see the results. You can find the link to the repository and the text material below the video. Thank you for watching and have a good day.